Garmin has just announced their new flagship models in the Fenix 8 Pro and the Fenix 8 Pro MicroLED. These represent a significant jump forward in technology and could be the premium flagships you've been waiting for. But there's a catch. Let's jump in. Now, a little while ago, I made a video that touched on how cool it would be for satellite connectivity to come to watches. Well, just a week before Apple announces their offering, Garmin has done it. So the Fenix 8 Pro has arrived with 3 variants and a very big new feature. For the longest time, Garmin has shied away from LTE connected watches, but no longer. The Fenix 8 Pro provides LTE connectivity for messaging and calls, as well as satellite SOS features. And there's an asterisk on this. We're gonna hit that in a second, but now, that's not all. Garmin is bringing to the table the first micro-LED display in a watch. Now, at the time of launch, the 8 Pro comes in 47mm and 51mm sizes, so sorry to all the slim wristed folks, you're going to be getting a chonk on the wrist, and if you want a Fenix 8 Pro, those are your options, 47.51. These come at an MSRP of $11.99 for the 47mm and $12.99 if you're looking for the 51mm, so a $100 premium on top of the standard Fenix 8. From everything I could tell, the Fenix 8 Pro connectivity is the defining feature and really the only differentiating feature from the standard Fenix 8. There is no mention of increased software performance, which leads me to believe they're using the same processor that's been in service since, I think, this Fenix 7 Pro? Someone correct me in the comments if I'm off on that. And the battery life on the Fenix 8 Pro is actually rated slightly shorter than the standard Fenix 8 at 15 days for the Pro, 16 days for the 8, which honestly is, I think, pretty impressive to just lose 1 day of battery life with LTE connected watch. And I think that's largely due to the LTE-M network, which uses less power than a standard LTE connection. So let's talk about that connection real quickly. These watches will of course require an ongoing subscription to use the connection, and that can start as low as $8 per month and go as high as over $50 per month for the Pro level individual plans. But even the lowest plans, those $8 plans, which should be good for most people, they all have unlimited LTE messaging and calling, and the difference really comes in with satellite usage. So if you're on the lowest tier plan, you want to send a satellite text message, that's 50 cents per message. You want to send a photo or voice message, that's $1. So there's differences the higher you go up, but whether you're paying per message, have an allotment of messages, or an unlimited amount of messages, it all just depends on the level of plan that you opt for. Now the satellite connection is via Skylo satellites, and that will require you to get a clear location, like all satellite connections. You're going to aim your watch toward the satellite. It'll tell you where it is in the sky. Position your wrist at the right angle to aim it directly towards the satellite. Wait for about 30 seconds for the connection, and then you're able to send a message, and it takes about 10 seconds to send that message. So keep in mind that's for satellite only. You don't need to point your wrist at the heavens to send a message over LTE. So with that connectivity, there are a few cool features built in. So first off, let's talk about that earlier asterisk I mentioned. You can message and call from the Fenix 8 Pro through Garmin Messenger to other people using Garmin Messenger. This is not going to be taking calls that were sent to your phone on your wrist through LTE. Same thing with messaging. Someone's texting you, you're not getting that on your watch unless you're connected via Bluetooth. So this is about being reachable by like family and your spouse or a close group of friends, your parents, something like that, rather than functioning like a smartwatch with an eSIM where you're available for anyone reaching out to your phone. So I know that right there might just be a deal breaker for some people. That's, reduces the usefulness of that LTE, but that's what it is. I mean, this might just be the sleep index monitor all over again. Garmin's like, oh, you want a screenless tracker? Sure thing. We got it for you guys for sleeping only. But, overall, there are some pretty cool features with the LTE as well. For one, you get live tracking, which is nothing new for Garmin users, but in case you didn't know, you share a link that updates your location during an activity, and of course, that can be updated now via just the watch instead of needing your cell phone with you. You also get access to live weather conditions, as well as multi-day forecasts on your location, so if you're out backpacking, hiking, whatever it is, you know if a storm's coming in, or at least you can check and see. Finally, over either satellite or LTE, you can have location check-ins, which allow for user-initiated location updates that can be sent to family and friends. Now, of course, everything that came out with the standard Fenix 8, as well as some of the features recently released on the Forerunner 970, will be packed in there as well. You got your step speed loss metric, as long as you have your $170 HRM 600. You get your visual race predictor, 40-meter dive rating, etc., etc. All that good stuff, it's all packed in, of course. Hey, real quick, if you're appreciating this level of coverage, please throw a thumbs up and consider a sub. My channel is still very small. Your support means the world to me and allows me to keep making real content like this. I'm really hoping for 10K subs soon. Let's get there. Thank you so much for your support. Okay, so if you absolutely have to have the best of the best, there's the MicroLED Fenix 8 Pro. Now, I did a video a little while back discussing this technology and how Garmin was trying to tackle it. One thing I learned while making that video is that the failure rate to make good micro-LED panels was so high, it was not really feasible for high-level production with thinner margins, say on like a Apple Watch. So Apple actually tried and walked away from their attempt at a micro-LED watch. I mean, at least for now. I'm sure they're continuing to refine the process, etc. But there's no micro-LED coming from Apple in the short term. With Garmin selling much less volume than Apple and their ability to come out with these high margin price points, it seemed like they were much more likely to be the first to get the technology to market, and they have. So micro-LED is brighter than a standard AMOLED display, has no risk of burn-in. Garmin says that there are over 400,000 individual LEDs on the display of the Fenix 8 Pro, and it gets up to an industry-leading 4,500 nits of peak brightness. There's also ultra-wide viewing angle, so you could really see your data at a glance. And now the resolution is the same, 454 by 454 pixels, same as the standard Fenix 8 and Fenix 8 Pro, although Garmin does state that the micro-LED version will have greater clarity, and that's because there's many more LEDs that make up those pixels. Now, you know this super advanced display will carry a battery cost, and that comes in two ways. One, the battery life is rated for up to 10 days with raise to wake, or 4 days with always on display. And two, pack in the biggest battery possible to make the watch get to those 4 days or 10 days of use, and the micro-LED version is only available at 51 millimeters and for the eye-watering price of $1,999. Yes, the bleeding edge of technology does not come cheap. So what do you think about the new Fenix 8 Pro models? I think if you're looking for a connection with family while you're out and either don't want to carry your phone or in an area without cellular coverage, this seems like a great option. I will say that the timing of the release is obviously no accident. The Apple Watch Ultra 3 is making its debut next week at the time of making this video with some of the same anticipated features. And while the micro-LED model is insanely expensive, that's the cost of pushing the technological envelope. So as much as I think Garmin deserves criticism for some of their pricing, and probably also with this one, this is a genuine step forward in technology, so I'm on board with them paving the way for better displays and watches. Hopefully the technology continues to come down in price as production can be improved and refined, and it can come in at lower price points and more brands can start coming out with these types of watches. The one thing I will say though is that for the princely sum of $2,000, they need to provide feature updates for more than 2 years. You can't just walk away from a model like this after 2 years' time. Now with the migration to the unified code base on the Forerunner platform, maybe that is their intention, but we're gonna have to just wait and see on that. So will you be getting a Fenix 8 Pro? Was this what you were hoping for in the next edition of the Garmin flagship? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and as always, I'm Dave, and this is Dave Does Fitness. Have an awesome day, and stay fit.